All right, everybody, good afternoon. Welcome here in to Crisler Center for the penultimate game of the non-conference season for the Michigan men's basketball team as they take on the Air Force Falcons here on this day, 3 days before Christmas. My name is Nick Hornberg. Joining me, Max Cohen. Alex Drain will join us later on in the game. Max, this is the penultimate game. This has tune-up written all over it, but obviously no team can be overlooked, and of course Air Force known across all sports for playing relatively disciplined basketball.
Yes, well, they come into this game averaging almost 16 turnovers per game, which Michigan's defense will look to capitalize on. But, yeah, as you said, there's 2 more games before the new year, 2 break games for Michigan, Air Force and then Binghamton. They just need to look to play solid basketball today. One thing on Air Force's roster that stands out is the lack of size. And so today, Teskey should have some good minutes, Livers, and even Davis off the bench should find good minutes and maybe have himself a good game, get on the scoring sheet, get some rebounds. But you're looking for a team effort. You really want to get everyone involved today. You don't want to stick to the 7-8-man rotation you've been doing most of the season. But also one thing I'm looking at, looking in for today is Eli Brooks, because his minutes have gone down recently over the past couple games. And Michigan, not that the game against South Carolina was that close, but it was less than 15, and the game against Western was way too close for Michigan fans' liking. And Brooks has played less there, so if he can come off the bench, hit some big shots for the team, that could be huge today. And going into this 2-game stretch of Air Force Binghamton and then opening the new year with a Big Ten season.
So of course, Michigan starting the Big Ten season, I suppose starting may be the wrong word. They've played Purdue and Northwestern already, however, opening the bulk of conference season on January 3rd, first game of the new year against Penn State at Crisler Center.
And Air Force hasn't played in 2 weeks. Their last game was December 8th. Michigan played a week ago, so you might see some rust out of Air Force. To start off the game, Michigan maybe look to get an early lead and just, stay with the lead that they've been doing all season.
All right, and both teams have taken the court. The ref steps in to deliver the tip-off. It is John Teskey versus Lavelle Scotty. Teskey with 7 inches of height advantage, and Teskey does win the tip-off, and we are underway here at Crisler Arena. Xavier Simpson at the top of the point. Simpson. Teskey moves back to him, gets Teskey behind the arc in the center, dumps it out to Ignas Brazdeikis, now to Charles Matthews on the left side, give and go with Xavier Simpson. Now to Brazdeikis behind the arc. Michigan has yet to move inside the arc on this possession. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Simpson at the point. Brazdeikis from the left side for 3 and cannot get it to go off the backboard end. Rebound by Scotty.
A lot of perimeter running around there and no inside penetration, as you were saying.
And Sid Tomes gives it to Purvis Louder. Now to Caleb Morris. And to Ryan Swan beyond the arc. Swan to Morris at the right corner. Morris. And now out to Louder.
A lot of back cuts from Air Force.
Yes, and now it's Scotty at the top. Tries to dump it off. A steal by Simpson. Now Michigan can break. Simpson holds up, dumps it to Matthews at the top. Now to Jordan Poole from the corner. Poole cannot get it to go. And it's a rebound by Caleb Morris.
2 good looks for Michigan to open the game and can't capitalize on the 2 open threes.
And now it's given back to
Ryan Swan.
Correct. Sorry about that. And Caleb Morris at the corner. Morris looks to drive, tries to give it to Scotty in the paint, but another steal. No, ball will go to ground before it's recovered by Swan, who will dump it off to Scotty. Scotty will go up, and game still remains scoreless. Rebound by Brazdeikis. And now Simpson on the right side. Simpson out to Matthews on the left. Now to Poole at the corner. Poole will fake the shot and dump it back out to Simpson beyond the arc. Simpson stepped out of bounds, and Michigan commits their first turnover of the game.
Poole gave up a good look for 3 and ended up driving. Ran out of bounds. Should probably just take the 3. Michigan looking a little out of sorts to start the game on the offensive end.
And inbound goes to Sid Tomes, who will come up the right side. Tomes now moves left. Not moving into the area. Has the ball knocked away by Simpson, but Tomes able to recover. Now Tomes looking to drive, giving it off to Caleb Morris. Morris guarded by Simpson. Excellent switch there by Michigan. And now Swan. Swan behind the arc. Swan looks to drive, now dumps it off to Tomes. Tomes moves inside. Tomes pulls up from about 20 feet. And Air Force with the first points of the game. And the inbound played quickly between Simpson and Matthews. And now Simpson at the point. Dumps it off to Matthews on the left side. Matthews back to Simpson. Looks right, dumps it off to Brazdeikis. Now back to Simpson. Brazdeikis now to Teske. Brazdeikis drives almost into the paint. Now Matthews pulls up from behind the arc, and it will not go. Teske knocks it out, but Air Force able to come up with it. And now a drive by Scotty will not be able to go. Correction, that was Purvis Louder. Now Simpson with a fast break. Brazdeikis goes straight to the hoop, and a foul called on Caleb Morris. Does not look like Brazdeikis going up for it, so Michigan will not go to the line.
A very stagnant first 3 minutes from Michigan. That was really the first look at the basket they had. And Iggy coming off probably his worst game of the season last game against Western with 4 points and only 1 rebound. So today, get to the line early, make these free throws.
And I was mistaken. Brazdeikis did go to the line and just made his first free throw. Michigan cuts their deficit to 1, 2-1, 17-17 left in the first half. Brazdeikis behind the line to take his second. Crowd very silent here at Crisler Arena.
Canadian flag in the student section.
And Brazdeikis gets it to go. Michigan starting off on the right side of the free throw percentage with an easy 2 for 2 to start the game. And now Caleb Morris on the right side. Morris to Swan in the middle. Swan goes up, an easy bucket there off Teske.
Teske just lost Swan there, had a very good curl move towards the basket. Teske's got to do better on the defensive end.
And now Simpson off to Matthews on the left side. Now back to Simpson. Simpson looking towards the point, now moves central. Out to Poole on the right, then to Matthews. Almost had it tipped away there. And now Simpson looking to drive before playing it off to Poole. Poole, jab step. Teske lays the pick. Poole goes the other way, dumps it off to Simpson. Now Brazdeikis from the corner, and Brazdeikis gets it to go. Michigan with their first lead, 5-4, and Brazdeikis scoring all of Michigan's points so far. And now to Tomes to Caleb Morris. Dumps it off to Purvis Louder. Now to Swan. Swan looks to Scotty in the middle before dumping it off to Louder. Louder enters the painted area. Fake shot, dumps off to Morris way too far, almost throws that at the net, but offensive rebound by Air Force. Dumps it off to Swan, cannot get it to go, but a foul called. Appears to be on John Teske.
No, didn't seem like the team was really communicating there for the defensive rebound, but also on the offensive end for Michigan. Air Force is in a 2-3 zone on defense, and they can't get any penetration towards the basket right now. They've taken 4 threes so far, and they've been slightly open, contested. They need to do a better job. They need to get a guy at the free throw line and work from there.
And Ryan Swan makes his first of 2 free throws as John Teske goes to the bench and replaced by Isaiah Livers, and Swan makes his second of 2 free throws. Air Force retakes the lead 6-5. Inbound played quickly to Simpson. Now Air Force pressing the whole length of the court. Poole back to Simpson. Now Simpson finds a little bit of space on the left side, lays it off to Matthews. Now to Livers at the top. Now Brazdeikis on the right side. To Poole at central. Now Isaiah Livers at the free throw line. Livers drives, goes up, hook shot, cannot get it to go. Rebound by Swan. Livers didn't really look like he had a handle on it.
Yeah, he lost control of the ball going up there a little bit.
And Tomes dumps it off to Scotty. Now back to Swan. Swan guarded by Livers. Henderson behind the arc, stumbles and falls, and a steal by Charles Matthews. Pass tipped away by Livers. Now Matthews looking to drive, lays it off to Livers. And Livers, now Simpson has some space. Simpson at the edge of the arc before laying it off to Brazdeikis. Brazdeikis goes up for another 3, cannot get it to go. Another rebound by Swan. Now Tomes going the other way. And Tomes looking left, now moving left. Able to play it into Scotty in the post. Scotty on Matthews, tries to play, and Charles Matthews called for the foul.
Michigan fouls #1, Charles Matthews, his first personal foul.
Sloppy game so far. Air Force up 6-5, 15 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, Michigan really, as I've been saying, hasn't been doing anything on the offensive end. They aren't doing any cuts towards the basket. No play. There's not a lot of screens being set. They need to play a more lively game. Air Force has been doing a great job on defense. The zone obviously threw off Michigan to begin with. Michigan's defense looks fine. Rebounding, not so great. You know, it's just one of those break games. You see it a lot with teams, especially Michigan has started the season with a pretty hard schedule. A lot of ranked teams they've played, early Big Ten play, and this is one of those games where you just need to focus in, and you need to say, we need to play fundamental basketball. We can't turn it over. You need to cut to the basket, set good screens. Defensive rebounding is huge. You can't let Air Force offensive rebound. You can't give them second chances. The team's going to get tired, and you don't want to force what I said earlier, the 7-man rotation. You want to keep flowing guys in and out. Xavier Simpson has played over 34 minutes a game the last 3 games, and part of that's because Eli Brooks isn't playing, and so you need to get these guys rest. Simpson works tirelessly on the defensive boards. It's just got to be more of a team effort. Michigan, the entire season, has been a team effort on the boards. Teskey leads the team in rebounds, but it's pretty much, you see Xavier, he had a double-double in rebounds, not even assists this season, and the definition of Michigan has been team, and that's not what it's been so far today.
And Michigan so far starting off the game less than inspiring, 1 for 6 from the field, including 1 for 5 from beyond the arc, only one shot attempted inside the 3-point line, and Wolverines also getting out-rebounded 6-2 by the Air Force Falcons.
With a player, no player over 6'8" on the Air Force roster.
And, of course, that means that, and you saw it in the tip-off, is that John Teskey has 7 inches on whoever is starting at the 5 for the Air Force Falcons. Lavelle Scotty going against Teskey in the tip-off. Scotty 6'7", Teskey 7'2".
Swan or Scotty, and Swan and Scotty are their 2 best players, averaging 12. Swan averaging 12 points per game, Scotty 11.5. Teskey's going to have a hard time today.
All right, and
not in the game right now.
Play resumed, and inbound pass stolen away by Livers. Purvis Louder just did not see him, and now Simpson has some space now to Poole at the point. Air Force giving Simpson a lot of space behind the 3-point line. And Eli Brooks has checked in for his first action of the game. And now Poole moves towards the center. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Michigan once again not getting inside the arc. And Eli Brooks lays it off to Brazdakis. Now to Jordan Poole at the corner. Poole pulls up, cannot go. And a rebound by Purvis Louder. And Sid Tomes will move up the right side. And now it's Scotty. And Chris Joyce making his first appearance of the game today. And Swan at the top of the key lays it off to Scotty, who drives in, guarded by Livers. Scotty goes up and gets it to go. Air Force up 8-5 now. Inbound pass played to Xavier Simpson. Slowing it down now. Brooks lays it off to Brazdakis on the right side. Brazdakis pulls it back to Poole. And now to Simpson.
Michigan's matching Air Force with size. Their tallest player right now is Iggy or Livers on the floor.
And Xavier Simpson drives to the basket, tries to pull it back for Brazdakis before ultimately ball goes to ground and Sid Tomes falls on it. And Air Force calling a timeout and retaining possession.
So not really much out of the timeout from Michigan. One athletic finish from Scotty, and they get a 3-point lead. I mean, this 2-3 zone is stuffing Michigan. They need to get someone at the free throw line. They need to get backdoor cuts. Nobody is able to get to the middle, get to the basket. They're not settling for bad shots. They are open threes, most of them, but it's late in the shot clock. You're not seeing really any urgency until 10 seconds left in the shot clock for Michigan. Yeah,
and even when there is urgency, you're seeing no desire to get into the paint where the size advantage can be best exploited. And short timeout there called by Air Force. No media timeout.
Keaton Van Solen in for Air Force.
As both teams retake the court, and the inbound pass played, to A.J. Wilker. And Wilker goes up, and Wilker gets it to go.
Off the high glass.
And Air Force now doubling up the Wolverines 10-5. And Simpson lays it off to Poole at the corner. Poole with a quick three. Cannot get it to go, but Isaiah Livers with the offensive rebound. Lays it off to Brazdakis, now to Brooks at the top of the key. Livers setting the pick. Brooks moves in. Lays it back to Livers. Livers now drives into the paint. Livers lays it off to Simpson. Simpson sees some space. Pulls up for the three. Cannot get it to go. Another rebound by Ryan Swan. And now Wilker on the left side. A.J. Wilker lays it off to Joyce. Joyce moves central, tries to play it in, but excellent steal there by Simpson. Now Livers drives to the basket. Michigan, with their first two-point shot in open play, cuts the lead to 3. Air Force still up 10-7.
Great defensive instincts there from Simpson to turn around, get the steal, and then good look to Brooks for the layup.
And Keaton Van Solen centrally lays it off to Wilker. Wilker now drives to the basket. Wilker backs up behind the arc, and now Scotty, guarded by Poole, moves central, and Poole knocks it away. It will go out of bounds. Air Force will retain possession. And Air Force with 4 seconds left on the shot clock, and Wilker will drive straight to the basket. Wilker will go up, cannot get it to go, does not hit the hoop. And the result is a shot clock violation. Michigan will get the ball.
Good defensive possession there from Michigan, obviously forcing the shot clock violation. Xavier's been very good defensively. He's been moving around a lot. I think has 2 steals so far in the game. Michigan all season has been capitalizing on defense into offense break chances.
And you are correct, Max. Xavier Simpson with 2 steals, and Simpson now moves central. Simpson drives into the paint, lays it off to Brazdakis, looks to pull up before holding off, now moves into the post. Simpson lays it off to Poole under the basket, and Poole gets it to go.
And there's your first good back cut of the game from Poole, getting an open reverse layup.
And A.J. Walker. And now another steal by Poole. Now the fast break. Brazdakis runs after the ball. Brazdakis now under the basket in the post. Brazdakis goes up, cannot get it to go. Excellent defensive play there by the Falcons. And
strong rebound by Amika Kaya for the Falcons.
Indeed, that pass from long pass from Poole, a little bit too far out in front of Brazdakis, and Simpson kicks the ball away from A.J. Walker, and another timeout called on the court by Air Force.
So, between those 4 minutes, you see Michigan playing a little harder on the defensive end. You're showing intensity, showing focus, energy out of the timeouts, forcing the shot clock violation, getting a few breaks. You know, it's just what Michigan does best. Xavier driving towards the basket, forcing the defense to collapse, open those cuts for Poole and Livers backdoor.
And yes, now Air Force still with a 10-9 lead. Xavier Simpson been the difference maker so far on the defensive end, and to a certain degree on the offensive end with 2 assists and 2 steals. No points yet, however. Ignas Brazdakis leading the Wolverines in scoring with 5. Eli Brooks and Jordan Poole each with 2.
Livers has been he's been going after offensive rebounds. He's really been disturbing Air Force in that sense, and forcing them to really try, like making sure Michigan has enough time to get back on the defensive end.
And Ignas Brazdakis actually leading the entire game in points. Air Force's leading scorer is Ryan Swan with 4, but early on in the game, Ryan Swan already with 4 rebounds. Air Force going to work on the defensive glass.
Yeah, they were making Teske work, and you saw what Beeline did. He took him out. Beeline took Teske out. He matched small ball with small ball. Livers, Iggy were the forwards with Simpson, Brooks, and Poole. And Livers was just working a lot harder on the boards, and Michigan was getting second chances, was making sure Air Force wasn't getting second chances. Air Force had a few athletic shots from Walker there. So, you know, Michigan just stick to the game. Matthews checking back in with Teske.
Well, I suspect that John Teske getting taken out of the game when he was had a bit more to do with Beeline's auto bench rule than it did concerning his play. However, Air Force was getting the best of him, and As you said, John Teskey has retaken the court. Now Xavier Simpson going to the bench. It's right now Michigan's 5 on the floor right now. Eli Brooks, Jordan Poole, Charles Matthews, Ignas Brazdakis, and John Teskey. And Air Force with a 5. It looks like Air Force going really small with looks like AJ Walker, Caleb Henderson, Amika
Caleb Morris.
Yep. Excuse me. Yes. Sorry, Caleb Morris. Amika Kaya. Looks like Keaton Van Solen and Chris Joyce. Going very small, even by their own standards. They're only playing 2 big men. And now inbound pass played to Walker. Walker pick set by Akaya. For Walker ultimately choosing to lay off. Now Van Solen with the pick and roll. And another steal there by Charles Matthews, but a hold called on, believe that was on A.J. Walker. It was to A.J. Walker.
And steal for Matthews there, just reaching kind of behind his back, putting his arm in a weird position to get the ball away.
And inbound pass played from Jordan Poole to Eli Brooks. Brooks on the left side. Teskey setting the pick. Brooks drives to the paint, plays it up for Teskey on the alley-oop, and Michigan retakes the lead 11-10.
We've seen that play from Michigan. We will see it more times than we have this year. That's classic.
And Akaya at the top lays it into Van Solen. Van Solen plays it back to Akaya. Akaya tries to move in before being forced back by Brazdakis. Now Van Solen lays it off to Joyce. Joyce drives into the paint. Joyce goes up. Athletic shot. Cannot get it to go. Rebound by Jordan Poole. Michigan on the fast break right now. And Poole lays it into Matthews under the basket. Matthews goes up. And Michigan up 13-10 now. And Air Force trying to recover. A.J. Walker waves Akaya forward into the paint. And Walker moves left. Now Akaya beyond the arc, guarded by Brazdakis. And looks like a push called on Eli Brooks in the paint. And Air Force will benefit from a stoppage in play and has the opportunity to substitute.
Bringing in Lavelle Scotty, Ryan Swan.
Yep. And Sid Tomes. And ball played in to now to Tomes and now to Scotty on the right side. Scotty moves inside the arc at the free throw line, lays it off to Joyce. Now Joyce beyond the arc. And now Swan at the top. Swan guarded by Teskey. Now Swan moves into the paint, goes up against Teskey. Teskey with his first block. And a shot clock violation called on the Falcons. Another turnover there.
And there we see just one of the college best defenders, Teskey, doing his work on Ryan Swan.
And now Eli Brooks moving up the left side. Michigan currently on an 8-0 scoring run. Now to Matthews at the corner, who tries to drive before getting forced back by Joyce. Now Charles tries to lay one into Teskey. Teskey and Swan go down for it, but it's picked up by Scotty. Michigan with another turnover. And now Tomes moving centrally, waves Scotty forward and lays it off to Joyce. And now it's Swan at the top, now to Scotty. And Scotty at the free throw line lays it back to Swan beyond the arc. Swan plays a pass into Tomes and has it knocked away by Eli Brooks. Another block. However, it did go out of bounds. Air Force will get the ball back with 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Brooks played Tomes a little too far in his back there, let him get by him, but recovered with a ferocious block.
It was a bullet pass into the paint there by Swan, setting up that opportunity. And Air Force will substitute. Chris Joyce will come out, replaced by Purvis Louder. And the inbound pass played to Tomes inside the arc at the corner. Tomes now, Scotty has it blocked by Teskey, and now Eli Brooks with the fast break lays it into Matthews. Matthews gets bowled over by Sid Tomes. Matthews will, not sure if they're calling that as a shooting foul. Looks like they are. Charles Matthews will, correction, no, it will not be a shooting foul, as Michigan will deliver an inbound pass. And Eli Brooks out to Jordan Poole beyond the arc. Now to Eli Brooks. Pulls up at the corner before pump faking and laying it back to Jordan Poole. Now Teskey setting the pick. Poole at the free throw line. Lays it back to Brooks. Brooks pulls up for three. Cannot get it to go. And an offensive rebound by Charles Matthews under the basket. Matthews goes up and called for the travel.
Looked like an Air Force player could have gotten a hand on that, but 50-50 call. Either way, Michigan doing a great job over the last 5 minutes of penetrating towards the basket, getting pressure in there. Matthews doing probably the best job on the team.
And Isaiah Livers back on the court as Ignas Brazdeikis takes a seat for the first time this game. Now 9 minutes left in the first half. Michigan up 13-10 as Lauder lays it back to Swan. Now to Lauder. Lauder moves inside the arc, guarded by Poole. Now Swan in the post, and wide open three. Sid Tomes cannot get it to go. Rebound by Isaiah Livers. And Livers takes it up, lays it off to Brooks. Now to Poole at the corner. Poole from the corner for three, gets it to go. Michigan, it doubles their lead now to 16-10. And Sid Tomes on the left side lays it off to Scotty. Scotty now to Swan at the top of the key. Swan now to Scotty, almost knocked away by Livers. Scotty goes up, but a partial block there by Livers. I don't know if he's going to get credit for that. Livers now to Brooks at the corner. Brooks now to Livers at the top for three. Cannot get it to go, but John Teskey with an offensive rebound, but back pass way over Isaiah Livers' head. Eli Brooks able to recover, but a backcourt violation called on the Wolverines.
Air Force's offense can't really do much on Michigan's defense right now. You see most of their offense is driving towards the basket and putting up a wild shot. As Brandon Johns for the Wolverines checks in.
Indeed, John Beeline going to the freshman early in this game. Brandon Johns Jr. largely been the first freshman off the bench so far, aside from Ignas Brazdeikis for the Wolverines. Now Beeline digging deeper into that rotation, as you said, and a bullet pass laid into Scotty. And Air Force gets points back and ending Michigan's 11-0 scoring run.
I think these two games for Michigan over break can also help Beeline figure out his big man depth problem.
And Isaiah Livers drives from the corner and pass back to Poole, knocked away by Caleb Morris. And Michigan will retain possession. 16 seconds left on the shot clock and a timeout called by John Beeline.
So what do you think of the big man problem Michigan has that I brought up?
It's actually quite interesting to see in that you see Brandon Johns as the first big man off the bench instead of Austin Davis. Interesting to see. Austin Davis has contributed a lot in terms of working hard and eating up minutes. However, doesn't offer as much upside as Brandon Johns Jr. potentially does. And I know a lot of excitement coming in about this recruiting class, considered a pretty deep class. Of course, Ignas Brazdeikis was the one expected to contribute immediately. But Brandon Johns Jr., David DeJulius, the ones getting the most minutes early on, especially considered by many to be very important players, especially later on in the season as the conference season kicks into high gear and some of the senior players may have to may not be able to play as many minutes with the grind of conference play. So those two particularly, DeJulius and Johns, will be the ones to watch.
Yeah, well, we know history of Beeline. He's not a big freshman guy. He doesn't really start freshmen that much. Iggy is a kind of just doesn't happen that much at Michigan under Beeline.
He's not an 18-year-old coming out of high school.
But Beeline, we have seen he works these players in as the season goes on, and that's what I was saying before. I think these games against these, like Air Force is a good opponent. They're by no means a walkover. Obviously, it's 16-12, and we're almost 15 minutes into the game. But I think it gives Johns, if he decides against Binghamton, maybe Castleton, Davis when he gets in, it lets him see what they can bring against different styles of play, like lesser teams, not as good as Big Ten teams, see what their weaknesses are, see what their strengths are. I think Johns brings a lot of upside. I really like Castleton from what I've seen from him this season in the late blowouts, but I do like Castleton a lot. He just needs to learn the offense a lot more.
Yeah, Colin Castleton has upside. I think I do think there is a bit of a sentiment among people who cover that Castleton might be a year away from really becoming really being a strong, consistent contributor to the team.
A year away from being a year away.
And now as play resumes here on the court, Michigan not making any substitutions since Johns coming in, it will be Brooks, Poole, Livers, Johns, Matthews. Going very small. Livers at the 5, and inbound pass. Eli Brooks looking for an opening, and before being forced to play conservative, lay it all the way back to Jordan Poole. And Poole, Johns setting the pick. Poole going up, and Poole not getting it to go, but Isaiah Livers fighting for the rebound. Lavelle Scotty able to keep it in, and Air Force will possess. And Sid Tomes moving down the center. Tomes looks left. Lays it back to Scotty. Now to Morris on the right side. Now to Swan. Swan pulls up for 3. Cannot get it to go, but fouled by Brandon Johns. Silly mistake there by Brandon Johns Jr., and Ryan Swan will be able to shoot 3.
Very silly mistake from Johns there. You can't do that. You let him have an open 3. You can't give him the three free chances at the free throw line.
And Ryan Swan misses the first one. And John Beeline looks absolutely livid on the sideline, as John Teskey standing at the scorer's table looking about ready to come on. And Swan makes the second free throw as Teskey comes in, and Brandon Johns Jr., another victim of Beeline's auto bench rule, will take a seat, as Luke Yaklich giving him a few choice words. And Swan misses the third free throw, only makes 1 of 3. Charles Matthews with the defensive rebound, and now Eli Brooks moving up the left side. Now goes further left to Matthews before pulling it back, and Teskey setting the pick. Brooks drives to the hoop and rolls all the way around a couple times before falling. Michigan extending their lead to 5.
Strong drive splitting defenders from Brooks there. You love to see that, not just contributing on 3-point field goals, but you like to see him getting towards the basket.
And Purvis Louder looking to drive, tries to play an indoor pass to Ryan Swan, but overled him. I don't know if Swan wasn't ready for it or the pass was just poorly aimed, but out of bounds turnover. Michigan will get the ball back, and now Jordan Poole will take it up the right side. Teskey looks to set a pick, and now Poole moves to the free throw line. Now to Matthews at the left corner. Matthews with his first 3 of the game.
Air Force just lost Matthews there. Michigan's been cutting a lot since the timeout. They went with the cutter, left Matthews wide open.
And now Tomes. Now to Scotty on the left corner. Back to Swan at the top. And goes in. I don't know if Teskey got a hand on that, but either way, missed. Wild miss there by Swan. And Poole lays it. No-look pass there to Brooks at the corner. Brooks looks to drive again before laying it into Teskey. Now back to Brooks. Now to Matthews at the top. Now Jordan Poole. Isaiah Livers at the corner. Livers gets it to go. Michigan up double digits for the first time in the game, 24-13. And another timeout called by Air Force.
Michigan's offense is firing on all cylinders, I would say right now. Getting good penetration towards the basket, good ball movement leads to, what does Michigan end up wanting? Open 3s. You see a couple corner 3s from Michigan right before that timeout.
And Michigan on yet another 8-0 run, and over the last 6 minutes and 52 seconds on a 19-3 run, from being down 10-5 to being up 24-13. And all of a sudden, 6 minutes left in the first half, Michigan with an 11-point lead, and Dave Pilipovich only down to his last 2 timeouts, as both teams retake the court, waiting for the signal to restart play, and Scotty plays it into Tomes. Tomes on the left side. Moves further left. Looks to play Swan in before ultimately moving around to the center and laying it off to Morris. Morris pulls up for 3. Contested shot, and Jordan Poole with the rebound. Now Poole has the opportunity to break. Now Livers pulls up for another 3 and cannot get it to go, but Charles Matthews fighting there for the rebound before Purvis Louder able to come up with it.
Air Force is not doing a good job guarding the transition 3. We've seen a lot of Michigan 3s have come in transition.
Now, bit of a 1-2 with Scotty and Louder. Scotty now lays it off to, that is, Caleb Morris. Now Swan at the top. Swan give and go with Louder. Louder loses it. Teskey goes to ground before laying it off to Jordan Poole, but jump ball called.
Great hustle there by Teskey to get on the floor.
Correction. Sorry, correction. That was a foul called on Ryan Swan.
Fun fact about Ryan Swan. His grandpa's Cadillac was used in the movie The Shining.
I've been waiting since tip-off for you to say that.
He also didn't start playing basketball until 16, which now he is Air Force's best player. I find that very interesting.
I believe that is the same age at which Joel Embiid started playing. And now Xavier Simpson moving left. Teskey setting a pick. Simpson laying it off to Matthews and cannot get the three to go, and a rebound there by A.J. Walker. And Walker now to Scotty at the top. Open three, but opts to drive instead. Scotty goes up against Livers, gets it to go. Excellent play there by Scotty, cutting Michigan's lead to 9. And Simpson back in the game, lays it off to Brooks. Now Charles Matthews.
Air Force back to a zone on defense.
And Simpson looking for space. Opts to lay it off to Matthews. Now Matthews drives to the hoop, and Charles Matthews with an easy drive and layup there. Michigan extending their lead back up to 11. And A.J. Walker driving, trying to outrun Simpson before laying it off to Morris. Morris at the free throw line, lays it off to Joyce. Joyce jostled at the give and go right there, and Van Solen at the top beyond the arc. Lays it off to Walker. Walker looking for the backdoor cut. And Scotty lays it off to Joyce on the left side. Joyce guarded by Matthews. Joyce pulls up from the free throw line, gets it to go. An excellent shot right there. And Michigan's lead 26-17. And Brooks plays the inbound to Xavier Simpson, moves up the left side. And Simpson looking to drive at the free throw line. Teskey setting the pick. Simpson laying it off to Brooks. Now Brooks drives, goes up for it, running hook, and gets it to go. Eli Brooks been a spark off the bench. And Michigan lead back up to 11. And A.J. Walker moves in the left side. 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. As Morris moves to the free throw line. Now Morris tries to drive on Brooks. Morris gets past him, goes up, and gets called for a double dribble. Not something I've heard called in the college or professional game in a long time.
You don't see that much anymore in basketball. Let people get away with it a lot. Good stretch there from Michigan again. Coming out, good defense. The switch back to the zone from Air Force kind of stuttered Michigan for a sec. Matthews drives. Nobody in Air Force really wants to step in front of him with a full head of steam. Gets a nice dunk.
And we are at another media timeout as there appears to be an invasion of red-suited individuals on the court at Crisler Arena.
There are 3 Santas and an elf.
And it looks like the lightest of the Santa Claus is about 160 pounds. Correction, the heaviest, sorry.
They are shaking their hips violently. I'm intrigued.
John Beilein is probably not impressed. In fact, he probably doesn't even. In fact, he probably does not even notice them. Now, 3.5 minutes left in the game. 3 minutes, or in the first half. 3 minutes 32 seconds to be exact. Michigan with a 28-17 lead over Air Force, and having made 5 of their last 7 from the field. Charles Matthews now up to 7 points, leading Michigan and the game. Ignas Brazdeikis has not played in about 5 minutes of clock time as he took a seat a little while ago. Interesting to see if he comes back in. Yet to commit a personal foul, but not shooting well from the field. Brazdeikis only 1 for 4, including 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Michigan currently sitting at 11 for 25 from the field, 44%, including a very uninspiring 4 for 15, 26.7% from beyond the arc. And while they are 100% from the free throw line, 2 for 2, there's only been 2 free throw attempts, and they came in the first 5 minutes.
Air Force has been doing a great job in forcing Michigan to shoot the 3. I think that's probably been their game plan. Make them shoot it and make them make it. Michigan wasn't doing that at the beginning. Started 1 for 6 from 3. Now they've been hot. Matthews has been hitting them. Livers been hitting them. You don't want to let Michigan get hot. Now they're back into the zone, trying to limit those perimeter shots, make Michigan get into the paint.
And right on cue, Ignas Brazdeikis back in the game, and looks like Brooks, Poole in the backcourt, and Matthews lays it off to Poole, who will give and go with Eli Brooks in the center. And Brooks moves to his left. Teskey setting the pick. Now Brooks moves into the free throw line. Brooks looks to drive before laying it back to Poole. A bit of a complex pass there. Van Solen there to block. Poole drives, tries to draw a foul, but ultimately loses it. And Joyce on the fast break takes it himself. A block by Matthews.
And Matthews there shows you why he's one of the best players in college basketball. His athleticism, his defensive, his basketball IQ, more specifically his defensive IQ on that block.
And Van Solen plays the inbound to A.J. Walker. And Walker moves left all by himself, guarded by Eli Brooks. Now moves back to the center. Walker lays it off to Joyce. Joyce looking to pull up for three, but Eli Brooks there to dissuade him from that. And Scotty lays it off to Walker. Walker now drives at the baseline, lays it off to Akaya, who chooses not to shoot and opts to drive, and looks like a foul called on Ignas Brazdeikis.
Iggy tried to hold up there, not get the foul called by putting his hands up. Refs wouldn't buy it.
And now Van Solen looks to play the inbound pass. Teskey in his face, ultimately able to get it out to Akaya. And Akaya looks like he plays it into Scotty. Scotty against Brazdeikis. Scotty fakes him out and goes up.
Great move there by Scotty to fake out Brazdeikis. Brazdeikis is a great defender, so that's pretty tough to do.
And Poole on the right side lays it off to Brazdeikis, who plays it to Teskey. Now Matthews on the left. Matthews to Brazdeikis. Brazdeikis will drive to the hoop. Brazdeikis goes up, cannot get it to go. And Van Solen with the rebound, lays it off to Walker. Now 2 minutes left in the first half. Michigan up 28-19 as Joyce at the free throw line lays it off to Akaya. And Akaya to Scotty at the top, now to Joyce.
Air Force has to be looking at keeping this below 10 points.
Now Scotty pulls up for three, cannot get it to go. A bit of a messed up affair there on the rebound before Brazdeikis able to come up with it. And Brazdeikis now looks to drive, goes down at the free throw line, and a travel called.
Looked like he might have been tripped there by a foot, accidentally tripped there by a foot of an Air Force defender, but don't always get those calls.
And Emeka Akaya plays in the inbound to A.J. Walker. Walker moves left, and Walker fakes the give and go, drives himself, pulls up from about 15 feet away, and airballs it, cannot get it to go. Matthews with the rebound. And Matthews looking to dictate play, lays it off to Brazdeikis at the corner. Now back to Matthews. Looked like he wasn't ready for it. And now Matthews at the free throw line. Charles Matthews lays it back to Brooks. Now Brooks drives, tries to play the no-look to Teskey, but has it knocked away. And Van Solen has the opportunity to fast break for the Falcons. Lays it off to Joyce. Joyce inbound, plays it into Scotty. Has it knocked away by Poole, but looks like Jordan Poole called for a foul right there.
Yeah, Poole's just getting a little too handsy on the defensive end and reaching in.
And Eli Brooks will go to the bench as Xavier Simpson comes back in. Eli Brooks has played 14 minutes in this first half.
And there you go. There's a step up. That's what I was looking at in this for this game, these two games in break. 14 minutes in the first half. Starter minutes.
And Van Solen. Now Scotty, excellent bullet pass right there, and Akaya goes up. Excellent interplay there between the Falcons, between Walker, Akaya, and Lavelle Scotty. Now under a minute left in the first half. Michigan up 7. Simpson plays it to Poole on the right. Give and go with Brazdeikis. Now Matthews. Teskey setting the pick. Matthews pulls up from just inside the arc. Cannot get it to go. Teskey with the offensive rebound. Teskey has it blocked away. And Michigan pretty much shot clock and game clock pretty much at level. Michigan slowing this one down. And now the shot clock about 2 seconds ahead of the game clock. Xavier Simpson at half court. And John Beilein calls a timeout.
7-point lead with 15 seconds left in the first half against Air Force. You're probably not happy if you're not that happy if you're a Michigan fan right now, are you? No, and this Michigan team hasn't, we've been saying throughout today, they haven't been showing that much energy. They have off of certain timeouts when you get those momentum shifters, but throughout this first half, the first 10 minutes, they were kind of out of the game, not really there. And these last 3 minutes, they haven't really been playing with a lot of focus. Haven't been making good passes, haven't been playing tight defense. Air Force has just kind of been bullying them, especially on the boards.
And Michigan taking a little bit of extra time to adjourn this timeout meeting as another substitution being made. Isaiah Livers coming in, replacing John Teskey, and Eli Brooks replacing Xavier Simpson. That was quite a short sojourn on the bench there for Eli Brooks.
I think here you want to look for Matthews cutting towards the basket. It's been working this entire half.
And Brooks at the top, now moves right. Brooks drives, gets fouled, and goes up for it. And looks like, is it a shooting foul?
Not a shooting foul.
Not a shooting foul.
Take it out behind the basket.
And now 8 seconds left in the period. And Eli Brooks looking to play the inbound, ultimately forced to play it back to Livers, now to Matthews. Now 5 seconds left. Matthews back to Poole. Poole looking to drive. Poole is fouled by Scotty. And that is Air Force's 6th foul there. 1 foul away from the bonus. Probably not going to be an issue considering there is 4 seconds left. Michigan really just going to have to play an inbound pass and shoot. And Poole looking around for the pass, lays it off to Livers. Now back to Poole. 2 seconds left. Poole pulls up from long range, blocked by A.J. Walker, and that will end the first half. Michigan going into halftime with a 7-point lead, 28-21.
Poole tried to be too fancy there. Put dribble moves on the defender, ended up getting his shot blocked. 10.5. 7-point lead for Michigan at the end of the half. You like the lead, you'll take it, but you're not that happy with it.
Air Force defending the end of that half rather well, using all their fouls that they had to give. And that'll be it for us for the first half of this game. Be sure to join us in about 15 minutes for the second half with Max Cohen and Alex Drain. Thank you very much for listening. We shall be back shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the court our Michigan dance team in today's Junior Dancers. All right, Michigan fans, today we have a very special and fun halftime contest for you in the spirit of the holidays. We have 6 young reindeer toddlers that are going to be competing in a very friendly dash across the court. Now, each one of our little reindeers is going to start here at the north end of the court. And when I say go, not yet now, they're going to race down to the other side to their mom or dad. Time to meet our adorable little racers starting the far side of the court. At 20 months, please welcome Charles. Charles in charge, there he is. At 24 months, Reagan. At 17 months, our youngest competitor today, little Theo. At 19 months, this little rascal, Ava. Uh-oh, she's ready. At 22 months, Larissa. And last but certainly not least, at 23 months, we have Bryce. All right, fans. You've all picked your own crowd favorite. Racers, are you ready? Charles is ready. Fans, are you ready? Baby reindeers in 3, 2, 1, go! There goes Charles. Uh-oh, but watch out. We got Ava and Larissa. Look at Ava go. Here comes Ava. She's across midcourt by a landslide. There's Ava. She is our winner. Everybody else is slowing down. Who's going to take second place? Is that Theo? Reagan in second, Theo in third. Uh-oh. We're not sure what's going on with Bryce here. Just a casual stroll. Michigan fans, how about a big round of applause for all of our baby reindeers and for the winner at 19 months old. Let's hear it for Ava. From Arby's, if Michigan scores 70 or more points and wins today's ball game. Just mention Arby's win-win promotion at any participating Arby's location tomorrow to receive a free slider. Fans, be sure to check out the Inside Michigan Basketball Radio Show with Coach B Line held at Pete's house. Or you can tune in live to 9:50 a.m. and 10:50 a.m. The next show will be on Monday, January 7th. For more information, visit fgoblue.com. This week's Prairie Farm Scholar athlete is Ben Kaiser. Ben is a senior of the baseball team studying sports management. He knew studying sports is what he wanted to do, saying there are so many things you can learn from sports in lessons to gain. His passion and motivation are clear, earning academic All-Big Ten and Big Ten Distinguished Scholar Awards this past year. Keep making us proud, Ben. We'd like to thank our Blue Crew and the Money's for participating in today's game. For groups interested in being a part of the Anthem Money's, visit fgoblue.com.
All right, we are back here for the second half of action between the Michigan Wolverines and the Air Force Falcons. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Max Cohen. For the second half, as Michigan comes back out onto the court with a 28-21 lead, the Michigan defense back to their usual suffocating standard, but the offense wasn't quite there in the first half.
Yeah, and I look at two glaring aspects of the offense. One, the turnovers. They have 8 turnovers right now. Michigan on the season averages 9.6 per game. So right there, that stands out at you. That's been a problem. And just bad shooting. They're cold. Yep. They came out cold. They can't. The ball's not going in the basket. Can't do much about that. You have to adjust. And they tried their best. And when we did see Michigan get out to their biggest lead, that was through their defense, creating turnovers from Air Force. But another aspect that I see right now that stands out is when we were talking about earlier, John Teskey is 7'1". Air Force's tallest player that is usually in the rotation is 6'7". Michigan and Air Force have the same number of rebounds right now at 16. If you're Michigan, you look at that, and that's the one stat that shows it's a close game. You need to be out rebounding a team that no player is even close to Teskey's height.
Yeah, both teams shooting 39% in that first half from the field. Air Force 0 of 5 from 3. Michigan 4 for 15.
Michigan has done a great job for not letting Air Force shoot threes. They averaged almost 20 a game this season.
Yeah. Wolverines 11 of 28 from the field overall, the 4 of 15 from 3. So better inside the arc, 7 of 13 on twos. 11 turnovers for Air Force, 8 for the Wolverines. It was an odd end to the half because Michigan did not score in the final almost 4 minutes of play there, entering the break with just a 7-point lead. Sloppy game.
Very sloppy game. A break game. Classic break game for the Wolverines across college basketball happening today and this week. But a lot of fans here in Crisler. Not a lot of students, but you get all the families coming to Ann Arbor, coming to Crisler, enjoy the game. Love to see it. Had a nice halftime show featuring some toddlers, being reindeers?
Yeah, they were in reindeer suits being raced down the court. About 10 seconds till we get ready for the second half as the teams back out onto the floor. Michigan wearing their home maize jerseys. Air Force wearing the away blue jerseys. This is only the second ever meeting between Michigan and Air Force. Michigan 1-0 in the season series entering today. That one game, December 28, 1965. So it's been a long time since Air Force and Michigan played in basketball.
Most of Air Force's offense through the first half, too, was we're driving to one side and putting up a shot, and if it goes in, it goes in. And those happen to go in like more often than not in the first half. So, I mean, that could only work for so long. Maybe it could keep working, but you mostly saw Ryan Swan and Lavelle Scotty just driving either left side, right side on Teskey, Livers, Iggy, and doing some type of move to try to get an open shot. And I don't know if that's going to, if you do that for 20 minutes, I don't know if you can for another 20.
Air Force 4-6 entering this game. Michigan 11-0, number 4 in the country. So you get ready for the second half. Air Force owns the possession arrow, so they start with the ball. They inbound it right into Lavelle Scotty. He had 8 points in that first half. Swan had 5. They go right to him, and a shot from 3 off the mark. Didn't even come close to the rim, but Swan gets his own rebound. Shot clock does not reset. 15, Swan dribbling around. Going to go across to Caleb Morris, who's got it outside from 3. And now they pass it inside. A nice look for Scotty, and he lays it in.
Got away from Matthews there. Good dribble move, pick up the ball. Good footwork, get inside. Nice little layup.
28-23 Michigan. Simpson gets the inbound and will dribble down the court. Livers already's now moved out to the substitution spot. He'll come in at the next dead ball as it's the starting lineup out there right now. Poole to Teskey. He's guarded by Swan. Hands it off to Poole. Now he's going to dribble inside, going to the rack. Off the window, no, but they're going to call an offensive foul. Poole will get tacked with the charge. That's his second personal.
good defense there from Air Force. They forced Poole to decide. He made a risky decision going in, and they were able to draw the charge.
Livers checks back in. He subs in for Matthews. Morris passing around to Scotty. Air Force now down to 14 in the shot clock, driving quickly inside. Good defense from Livers, though, to deny that, making out a foul called. Purvis Louder was the one that missed the layup, and it'll be an over-the-back foul.
I guess Beeline didn't like
Swan.
that first possession defense from Charles and had to take him out of the game.
He yanked it quick.
And then put him right back in.
Yeah, because Matthews now checks back in as they switch Brisdakis out. Poole inbounds to Simpson, who brings it up. Still 28-23 Michigan, 18:41 to go in the second half. Livers to Matthews, to Simpson. He's going to go inside to Livers on the post. He's got a height advantage, backing down, trying to get inside. Kicks to Simpson, who had the open three, not going to take it. Simpson dribbles inside, nice little pass out to Matthews. His fadeaway jumper, and it's good.
Classic Charles Matthews, top of the key shot.
Up come the Wolverines, or excuse me, the Falcons. Wolverines guarding them. Horace up there. Falcons still rolling with their starting five. Quick pass inside to Scotty, ripped away by Livers, and they're going to say it's out of bounds off the Falcons. Michigan takes over.
Livers and Scotty were both twisting and turning there. I think Livers was lucky to get his hand on the ball and rip it away from him instead of putting it on Scotty.
So Livers goes back out, Brisdakis back in. Michigan doing a lot of switching here in the early going. Simpson, as usual, leading the ball up. That last Matthews make was Michigan's first points in nearly 6 minutes of game action dating back to the first half. Matthews gets a little screen from Teskey, and he swishes it. So 2 quick jumpers for Matthews, and Michigan lead back up to 9.
He is working that free throw line to start this half.
So up come the Falcons. Scotty gets it around to Morris. Now on the block to Louder outside. To Swan, hands it off to Scotty, dribbles inside. Guarded by Teskey, going to try to get around him. He's in trouble, throws it up off the window, and it goes.
Another one of those drives to a side, throw it up, hope it goes in. Went off high glass.
Gets some good fortune there. And Michigan now with the ball. Brisdakis is back into the game, and he's got the rock. Dribbles to the hole, offhand, and he puts it in. The left-handed gets a little kiss from the glass. And 34-25 Michigan lead. Purvis Louder quickly comes up with it. Guarded by Matthews. He's going to dribble inside. And Matthews gets his hand in but can't quite get it away as it goes to Morris. Now he kicks it back, an open three look for the Falcons, and it goes.
First three of the game for Air Force.
Yeah, Sid Tomes knocks it down.
Miscommunication there from Matthews and Poole. Just didn't know which one was going to go out, cover the three-pointer.
Falcons still hanging around. 34-28 Michigan, 16:30 to go in the game. Simpson dribbles inside. They give him a little room, but then turn him around, and he dribbles back out from Brisdakis around to Poole. He's outside the arc. Poole dribbles inside. Now kicks to Brisdakis, back to Poole. He's wide open from three. Swish!
Poole won't miss many of those shots.
Wide open, Jordan Poole knocks it in. He's got 11, and Michigan leads 37-28.
Air Force is doing a great job keeping this game close, just not letting any.
And there's a steal. Brisdakis off to the races. He's away with Matthews. Iggy will take it himself in the jam.
Right when I say that.
Yeah.
Great defensive possession and finish there from Iggy Brisdakis.
So Michigan now leads by 11, 39-28. We'll see if the Falcons can settle things down, get back offensively. Swan to Scotty. Scotty's going to look to drive, then puts on the brakes. Kicks it around Sid Tomes, double teamed for a second by Poole and Brisdakis. Tomes going to pull up an awkward looking three. It's off the mark, and Poole gets the rebound, but they're going to call a push off. And we go to the under 16 timeout. Michigan 39, Air
Fans
Force
are not
28.
pleased with that call on Poole. It was a light call, but you know, can't argue with the refs there. But that timeout, that's what I think that's hurts Michigan. You see them gain momentum right there, and then on a foul like that, you have to get the under 16 timeout. Michigan all season long, and as a Michigan fan, even if you aren't a fan, if you watch the games, you see one defensive play can change the entire momentum of the game and end up putting Michigan up 20 points because their defense locks down, and that just broke that up right there.
That last three from Air Force, an important shot because it extends their streak of hitting at least 1 3 now in 288 straight games dating back to November of 2009. They were previously 0 for 6, and then they got that one to go. We got the t-shirt toss going on.
The fans are up. They want these t-shirts.
We had one in the press row last week against Western Michigan. Tossing out the yellow t-shirts. They got the t-shirt gun going over across from us. Otherwise, just the cheerleaders throwing them up.
So, Alex, would you say from watching the first half, is there anything particularly Air Force is doing to keep this game close on either side of the ball? Probably more on the defensive end.
They've played good defense, and they haven't allowed Michigan to drive much.
Yeah.
And they've forced 16 three-pointers, of which Michigan's only made 5. And so they're forcing Michigan to take a lot of threes, and Michigan hasn't been making them. That's been the big key to their defensive success to me.
Yeah, and I do think that shows a strength for Michigan, though, because if one team is relying on you to miss your threes, and you were shooting, I think, 29% in the first half.
Yeah.
You'll take that. You'll take that as a team. And Michigan has a lot of strengths, but these close games, their defense keeps them in it, has momentum-changing plays, get them big leads. And the one thing about the defense for Michigan is that they can pretty much shut down almost any team for stretches at a time, I would say. 4-minute stretches at a time, they could pretty much leave almost any team in the country not allowing them a point. So we'll see how this second half plays out. But defenses look good so far, and they've been getting a lot more penetration towards the basket.
So out of the timeout, Air Force will keep the ball on the offensive end of the court because of the foul on Poole. Falcons switching up their lineup just a bit into the game now is Chris Joyce, and he does the inbound to Keaton Van Solen, who's also checked into the game. Van Solen guarded by Teskey. Dribbles around with it on the outside of the arc. Now a little step back opportunity off the mark there from Sid Tomes. And up comes Michigan. Matthews to Brooks in the corner. Thought about taking it, decided not to. Simpson holds. Now going to throw across to Brooks, back to Simpson. He's going to dribble inside, throw on the brakes, pass back out. Here's Brooks, off the mark. And rebounded down by Air Force. Tomes brings the ball up the court. Pass across to Van Solen, to Scotty. Brisdakis tries the steal. Scotty drives inside. Good defense from Teskey, but he manages to get it to go. And it's 39-30 Wolverines, 14:30 to go in the game. Simpson drives inside, kicks to Brisdakis in the corner. That one a little short, and the rebound grabbed down by the Falcons.
And Michigan's okay with those shots. They just, as we've been saying, haven't been falling today, and they're going to have to find a way to get towards the basket.
Simpson called for a reach-in on Scotty. Looked like he got mostly ball, and he was not too happy about that call. Michigan been very aggressive to try and force turnovers here in this second half. That's Michigan's third team foul. Joyce looks to inbound to Scotty. Gets it in down low, going around Brooks. They're going to call a blocking foul.
And the basket counts.
Yeah. So it'll be a three-point play opportunity. That's Brooks. Or actually, no, they're not going to count the basket. They're going to call it before. Pretty light call there, a little odd. They inbound it to Joyce. He's got it outside, guarded by Simpson. Trying to go inside. He's forced to throw it around to Sid Tomes. Outside to Morris, to Scotty. And a three-point opportunity. They're going to call a foul on Xavier Simpson. Oof. And it's going to be a three-point foul, too, as Joyce was attempting a very awkward-looking three.
It looked like Joyce maybe embellished that a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely reacted in some way, whether it was a legitimate reaction or not.
So you just can't take that risk when you're Simpson.
Yeah.
You know, late in the shot clock, you don't, and he's forcing a shot at the three-point line. You don't want to give him 3 free chances at the free throw line.
So Joyce steps up and he misses his first. He's the best free throw shooter on the team at 85%, but he misses that first one. Bends the knees and gets ready to deliver the second. That one goes. It's a 39-31 Michigan. Here's one more free throw coming. That one rims in and rims out. Brisdakis grabs down the rebound. Now they're going to call a foul on Van Solen. And the crowd with a little bit of a cheer.
Crowd feels that Michigan has earned a call.
Yeah.
They've been getting a little screwed out of some other ones.
A lot of fouls here in the early going. 5 now on the Wolverines, 2 on the Falcons. Air Force trying to press a little bit. Michigan gets around it and gets up the court. Brooks dribbles inside, around the key, kicks outside to Brisdakis. Had it, lost it, got it back. In trouble, has to find Brooks out to Simpson. 10 on the shot clock. Gets a mini screen from Teskey. Trying to get into the paint. Now goes around the corner. The hook shot off the glass, and it goes.
Very athletic finish by Simpson. Not even athletic, just talented finish with the hook there.
Tough hook shot extends the lead back up to 10, 41-31. Van Solen passes it around to Joyce, to Lavelle Scotty. Dribbles inside the arc briefly, back out to Van Solen. 10 on the shot clock. He's going to dribble in, throws on the brakes, hands it off to Morris, who offhand shot is good. 41-33 Falcons. Or excuse me, Falcons cut the lead to 8. Simpson dribbles up. Hands it to Matthews.
Simpson's been pretty quiet on the offensive end of the floor today.
He hasn't been willing to take many shots. Matthews, the turnaround jam! Shakes his defender on the baseline and then goes up for the slam dunk. And it's 43-33 Wolverines. Joyce to Morris. Back to Joyce outside, guarded by Simpson. And we got a foul under the basket, I think, on Teskey.
There are a lot of off-ball foul calls this half so far.
Referees today, DJ Karstensen, Kelly Pfeiffer, and Brandon Cruz. They've definitely been willing to clamp down a bit.
Isaiah Livers checks into the game for Michigan. Teskey goes to the bench.
Michigan going back to their smaller lineup now, 43-33. Joyce going inside to Swan, guarded by Brisdakis, and Swan, nice little move to get around Brisdakis and lay it in.
These forwards for Air Force have very good footwork near the basket. They've been faking Michigan bigs out pretty much all game.
Simpson drives inside, kicks to Livers, open three, and it goes. Livers three makes it 46-35. And Michigan back up to the tie for their largest lead of the game, 11-point advantage. Falcons dribbling up with it quickly, looked like a travel. Chris Joyce drives inside, guarded by Matthews. Good defense. Charles with the rebound, flips it up to Simpson, trying to run out in transition. They go Brooks in the corner, goes around Van Solen, in trouble, kicks to Matthews for three. That one off the mark. Livers going up for the rebound, can't quite caress it, and up they come the other way. Quickly inside is Joyce. His shot is off the mark, and it's going to go out of bounds. Off Swan, Michigan ball. With 11:18 to go, our score, Michigan 46, Air Force 35.
Great defense on that possession right there from Livers to keep his body upright straight, to not get the foul called on him in a type of game where the refs have been very easy to blow the whistle.
Yep. So the under 12 timeout. Both teams have shot it better here in this second half. They were both at 39% in the first half. Now Michigan shooting at 49%, Air Force 43%.
Michigan still can't get those consecutive three-point baskets back-to-back, back-to-back, trying to pull away. Air Force doing a great job in just forcing those open threes that I think Michigan thinks are wide open. You know, just get a hand up there late, maybe force a little change of direction of the ball. Playing great defense.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of athletic guys. Lavelle Scotty, very athletic. Ryan Swan, they're full of these swingmen, these just like perimeter swingmen that Michigan doesn't have a ton of. Iggy kind of brought it to them this season. Like Livers is doing that too, but he's more of a big guy. And Air Force is doing a great job, and that's how they can drive past Michigan bigs and get these layups out because they're quick. They're small, they're quick. Drive right by them.
So Michigan now 6 of 20 on the game from 3. Interesting that Michigan's only attempted 2 free throws the entire game, 2 for 2 on that. Those 2 coming from Brzdakis.
The first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I think too. Yeah, it just shows hasn't been a focus on going towards the basket. They're settling for these threes, and that's why it's only an 11-point game. If you focus more on getting towards the basket, and that's why I brought up Xavier in the offense. I think a big part of the offense and starting the offense is Xavier's penetration. Point guard penetration is huge in basketball, especially with Michigan and the recent years. With, I mean, going back to Darius Morris, Trey Burke, like you have all those points. Marr previously, now Simpson. You just need guard penetration to open up other opportunities for the team, and Simpson and Poole haven't been doing it much today. It's mostly Matthews, and when Matthews does it, he's finishing himself. So got to just get a lot more movement on the offensive end.
Air Force still hanging around, only down 11, but this is tied for the largest lead of the game. For Michigan, Air Force entering this game against a ranked opponent, 4-82 all-time versus ranked opponents, looking to get that 5th win. Also 2 of 13 all-time versus the Big Ten. Air Force not really known as a basketball school. Their coach Dave Pilipovich in his 7th season, just 33-77 in Mountain West play, 83-113 overall.
He used to be a Michigan assistant.
Under Tommy Amaker. Up comes Xavier Simpson out of the timeout. Michigan with the ball up 11. With just about 11 minutes exactly to go. Simpson dribbles inside, double team, flip to Brzdakis, open 3, and it goes. Brzdakis knocks it down. He's 2 of 5 from distance today. Van Solen with the ball. Now dribbling inside is Joyce. Looks to get it to Van Solen, and the jam going up over Matthews and throwing it down.
An unexpected athletic finish from Van Solen there.
The sophomore from Iowa, Van Solen. Simpson dribbles inside, gets around his man, kicks, delivers, wide open 3. That one goes. And Michigan, it's the exact same play that they've been running over and over again. Livers knocks that one through.
The pick and pop working for the Wolverines.
And Michigan now up 15 points, by far their largest lead of the contest. A.J. Walker, who's checked into the game, passes it across to Van Solen, looking for Walker, cutting to the hoop. It goes out of bounds off of the freshman from San Antonio. Out of bounds, Michigan takes over.
High pressure there from Simpson to not let Walker ever get control of the ball, force it out.
Poole does the quick inbound to Simpson as we approach the halfway mark of the second half. Michigan 52, Air Force 37. Simpson going to dribble inside. There's the pick and pop again. Delivers the extra pass to Matthews from the corner. His 3 is off the mark. He's been cold from distance today, 1 of 5 from outside. Air Force comes back up with it. They lost the ball, and they're going to call Simpson for the foul. And the crowd booing that one.
Simpson's arms went up there. I don't really know where the foul was.
It certainly didn't look like a reach-in. That's not what caused the loose ball. Air Force in the bonus, so they're going to send A.J. Walker to the line. He's a 76.2% free throw shooter, and he makes the first.
Eli Brooks comes in for Simpson.
Michigan entering this game averaging just 13.4 fouls per game. They're already at 13 with 9:39 to go. That second one off the mark. Matthews skies up for the rebound and pulls it down. 14-point lead, 52-38 for Michigan. Brooks with the ball, dribbles around, and he's going to try to kick it to Livers, but a reach in there by Air Force. Quick whistle, that's the third on Air Force.
Air Force has not been capitalizing at the free throw line today. 5 for 10, 50%. They're not a great free throw shooting team. Anyways, they shoot 65, but when you get those free chances, especially against a good team, you got to capitalize.
Indeed, Brooks to Poole, thought about pulling up from three, but decided was unwise. Dribbles around, kicks to Brooks. He's going to go inside to Matthews. Staring down Swan, and they're going to call him for a travel.
The referee thought he picked up his left foot there.
Not sure if he did, but aggressive refereeing today all over minor infractions. Joyce going to go inside for Swan, and his shot is blocked by Livers, but they say goaltending, so they're going to count that one. Give Air Force the basket, 52-40. Wolverines.
Great effort by Livers to try to recover there, but better spin move from Swan to get away. End up getting the ball up in time, force Livers to block it off the backboard.
Brzdakis gets the pass. He's going to pull up for a two and off the mark, but a nice rebound there from Isaiah Livers to grab it down. They cycle around back inside to Brzdakis. His little layup offhand goes, and Michigan back up 54-40. Now they're going to try to go inside for Van Solen, and he lays it in. Air Force really slashing towards the hole right now, and good entrance passes.
Yeah, Michigan's defense has kind of looked a little open for baskets, I would say, the last 2-3 minutes of the game. A little stretch between the timeouts here.
There's a three for Poole, and it goes. Poole knocks it down. Both teams starting to shoot better. To your point, Air Force is now 6 of their last 8 from the field, including 3 of their last 3. And most all of that coming in the paint. They're still only 1 of 8 from outside, which is where Van Solen has the ball, but he's going to quickly look to get it inside. Joyce on beyond the arc drives inside. Good defense from Poole, and they call a foul. Crowd a tad riled up about that.
Could go. That's a 50-50 call. You could let it go. You could call it. If the guy hits the floor, they'll call it most likely in college basketball, I would say.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, the 4th foul on Jordan Poole. So one of Michigan's most talented scorers probably will be on the bench for the foreseeable future. So we'll probably see a bit more of Eli Brooks.
So through almost 13 minutes, 12 and a half minutes of the second half, Michigan has 2 turnovers in this half compared to the 8 in total of the first half. And I would say that's expanded their lead a little bit, taking care of the basketball, making sure Air Force doesn't get more chances than they need to. They've done a good job. They've been hitting, obviously, you said both teams, but Michigan too, have been hitting their shots this half. They hit a lot of threes in the past 5 minutes.
They've definitely been shooting it better in the second half, and obviously cleaning up on the turnovers. On the flip side, though, a lot more fouls for the Wolverines in the second half, and that has hurt their defense in some regards. Air Force at 42 points. They already have as many as they had in the first half here in the second, but still 7.5 to go. So it's yet another sellout here at Crisler Center, the 5th straight sellout and the 6th of the season. 14 in the 2013-14 season was the most recent high. Going to have a good shot to eclipse that. because they've already sold out Binghamton, Penn State, and Indiana, so that's at least a total of 9, and then beyond that they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more chances. So definitely an opportunity to smash a recent record of sellouts. Good turnout from the home fans this year.
Oh, definitely. I would say Michigan has really embraced the basketball team, as they've seen over the last few years. Beeline, one of the best coaches in the sport, and the fans have really bought in. The students have bought in. Crisler is electric almost every game. And today, another packed house. Love to see it out of the Michigan fans.
All right, out of the timeout from the under 8, it'll be Joyce at the free throw line. He already had 3 attempts earlier, and he was 1 of 3. He's an 85% shooter on the season. He'll have 2 shots on the shooting foul here. That first one off the mark, man, oh man. Air Force now 5 of 11 from the free throw line. Here's the second coming from Joyce. He makes that one, so the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, Bishop Kenny High School, goes 1 of 2 at the line. Michigan up 57-43, 7:47 remaining. Brooks inbound to Simpson. Matthews across to Simpson. We approach 7.5 minutes remaining. Simpson looks to get a screen from Livers, couldn't quite get it set up, but he passes it to him anyway. Matthews to Livers baseline, kick, Simpson open from 3. That one off the heel, tipped around, but an offensive rebound from Livers. Simpson now 0 for 2 from 3 on the game. Pick and pop with Livers once again. They go to Brooks. He drives in, kicks out to Brisdakis. Iggy goes to the rack, lays it up, and lays it in.
Very good drive there from Iggy. Good footwork to get towards the basket. Strong finish.
59-43 Wolverines. And Tomes, his pass intercepted. Livers throws it ahead for Matthews. He's going to go inside, draws a foul, puts it up off the mark, but he will draw 2 shots off that. Seemed like he could have passed it to Brooks, who was closer to the rack than he was.
Yeah, I think that pass from Livers was a little, Matthews thought it was going to be a little in front of him. He had to slow up, didn't have full control of the ball. Couldn't really make a decision in time with the defender in front of him. Ends up going to the free throw line.
So Matthews at the stripe to shoot 2. 6:46 to go in the game. His first goes through. Matthews got off to a rough start from the free throw line, but he's currently at 61% on the season. Again, that was just the 3rd free throw of the game attempted by Michigan. His second also goes through, so the Wolverines 4 of 4 on the game from the free throw line, and their lead up to a game-high 61-43, 18-point advantage. Tomes with the ball.
The 18-point lead kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, steadily building over these last few minutes. Tomes gets it back from Scotty, and they're going to call an offensive foul, moving screen on Lavelle Scotty. The 6'7" junior from Fort Worth, Texas, is now tacked with his 3rd personal. Team 5th for Air Force.
You love to see the game Ignis Brisdakis is having today after a 4-point dud against Western.
Yeah. Matthews across to Simpson outside. He passes it to Brooks. Back to Simpson, 15 on the shot clock. Michigan content to use most all the shot clock on these later game possessions. Matthews with 10. He's going to do a step-back 3 off the mark. Little short, and the rebound grabbed down by Sid Tomes of Air Force. 6 minutes to go. Hands it off to Van Solen. And they pass it around. Get it to Scotty. Looking at Livers. Hands it off to Van Solen. Back to Swan. 10 on the shot clock. Tomes going inside. And block, I think. Nope. Off the mark shot but a rebound grabbed down and finished by Lavelle Scotty. Michigan did not box out there, and he gets his own rebound and puts it back in.
No, today's been a struggle on the boards for Michigan. In total, I would say first and second half.
Simpson gets around his defender, goes up, no, off the mark, but Matthews the putback. 63-45, back to the 18-point edge as we approach 5 minutes to go in this game.
Matthews knows the game so well. He'll time those. You see those happen almost every game, timing missed shots up and putting them back up.
Scotty passes it across, dribble inside, and that one's taken away by Isaiah Levers. Pass to Matthews, going to flip it up for Simpson. Off the window, no.
Matthews thought Simpson was a center on that play.
Yeah, an alley-oop try that Simpson is not tall enough for. That shot off the mark as a quick opportunity for Air Force falls away. Livers grabs the rebound down, and Michigan can just hold it and dwindle the clock down to close to 4 minutes remaining. Simpson pass to Brooks outside, 15 on the shot clock, 4:28 to go in the game. Brooks dribbles inside, crossover. Livers outside, gets a switch with Matthews. They kick. Simpson, corner, Brisdakis three, got it! Iggy Brisdakis the three, and Michigan now up to a 21-point lead, 66-45 over the Falcons.
Beautiful ball movement on that possession will lead to a wide open three.
And that one's blocked by Brisdakis. He blocks Van Solen's three-point opportunity. Had an opportunity to run down the court, and we're going to get a quick foul on Tomes. And at 3:56 remaining, we have the final media timeout of the game.
So, through that stretch, Michigan kind of pulled out, took a big lead there. I mean, that's what Michigan does best. They forced a lot of turnovers. They made their shots, got to the basket. Just good beeline offense, Just classic. Michigan goes to a 21-point lead. Alex, I want to ask you something pertaining to this Michigan team going forward in the season.
Yep.
So, do you think would you say there's a star player on this team or no?
A star player?
Yes.
I would say Brisdakis is close to it.
I agree. I think he is. His shot is super nice. When he's hot, he won't miss. He's physical. His footwork for a freshman is out of this world. But that I think he is the closest one, but I also think Matthews and Simpson are right there because the veteran presence. I think for especially Michigan, it's huge. I think Beeline puts a focus on kind of, lack of a better phrase, kind of respecting your elders.
Yeah.
You need, they are the ones that lead the team. We saw it with Marr last year and previously. When Michigan was in tough and sticky situations, it was give the ball to Marr, let him go to the basket, let him work. And I love, and Michigan fans, and Michigan, this team, I don't think has that one person, but I think it makes them, it makes them that much more deadly because any person on the floor can do it. I mean, Livers has had a great game today, I think. And that's one person that in one of these games where not everyone is has all their energy up, whatever, Livers coming out, he's been very good on the boards. He's hit some threes. I think he has 9 points.
9 points.
9 points.
9.6 rebounds and 2 steals for Livers.
Yeah. So he's been a force on the defensive end too. Just a great game to see out of him. DeJulius checking in for Michigan.
Oh, this is interesting. We saw a glimpse of Brandon Johns earlier. Now we see our second freshman off the bench, David DeJulius, into the game. Simpson pick and pop. Here's Livers again. That one's going to be off the mark, but a rebound by Brisdakis, and then as he went up for the putback, he was stripped. Up come the Falcons. Joyce dribbles baseline, guarded by DeJulius, trying to go inside quickly. Offensive foul. DeJulius draws the charge.
And Beeline will like that from this freshman. Not Brandon Johns giving Air Force 3 chances at the free throw line.
So DeJulius dribbles up with it. They're letting him be the point guard. Is Simpson normally the one to bring it up, letting DeJulius do that duty here. Brisdakis gets it in the corner out to Livers in the wing. Hits Matthews inside the key. Going to try to go around his defender, offhand off the glass. And not quite able to get it to go. A.J. Walker into the game, and a strip by Simpson. He's away with Livers, going to flip it up, and Livers the alley-oop! Woo!
Wow! Livers was in the air, gliding.
Yeah, that was quite the alley-oop there.
Simpson just waited for Livers to get down the floor. He wanted that alley-oop.
68-45 Michigan. A.J. Walker inside to Lavelle Scotty. He's got a height advantage over Livers, or Simpson rather, and Simpson almost stripped him again. That one now up into the air, and a takeaway. Livers dives in to corral the loose ball that Simpson forced. Now they go up the court. Matthews has got it on the wing. Michigan can hold it to 2:10 in the game, and I think we got a timeout by John Beeline. I think he wants to get his freshman into the game, as Michigan is finally pulled away up 68-45 with 2:32 to go in the game.
Beeline and the refs are both confused on what the call there was.
Yeah, now it is a timeout. The referee on the far side was getting ready to give Matthews the ball to inbound, and on the other side, the Michigan assistant coaches are already getting the chairs out for the timeout.
So we'll see these freshmen get, I think, pivotal minutes in the last couple minutes of these games. Get them some playing time, get their confidence up before going into the bulk of, season play, tough stretches within the conference tournament. But I do want to see more. I thought we were going to see more today because of Air Force's roster. Austin Davis didn't really play.
He has not played at all.
He hasn't played.
Yeah.
Okay, he hasn't played at all. There you go. And I thought this would be a good game because he's the backup big guy that doesn't have that much skill right now, but a lot of those in Beeline system have developed into good off the bench guys, and I thought this would have been a good game for him. Get good minutes, clean up the glass, get a few points, whatever it may be, and he hasn't even entered the game yet. A bit surprising to me. But they did go to Johns early.
Yes, they did. Johns came in and he played exactly 1 minute, got one foul, and then was quickly yanked right back off. Air Force hasn't scored in the last 3 minutes. Michigan over the last 2 and 39 is on a 7-0 run. Air Force with 6 turnovers in the last 5 minutes. And as a result, now up to 20 turnovers on the game. Air Force entered at 15.8 turnovers a game. So they've really continued to struggle in that regard. Michigan's quick and active hands taking advantage of some of those sloppy plays.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the huge, differences between Michigan and other teams in the country is the active hands, just all the time. You see, even when an opponent gets past a Michigan defender, they'll still be moving their hands trying to get a steal, and one time or another they get a hand on it, disrupts the pass, boom. I mean, I think that's one of the big things in basketball is just always be active on D.
So checking into this game, we have DeJulius, Brooks Livers still out there, but also Brandon Johns and Adrian Nunez, who's got the ball. He passes it to DeJulius. The freshman point guard dribbles in the lane, draws a foul. An awkward-looking shot. Looked like his hand got smacked.
His third personal foul, team's eighth.
That's a foul going on A.J. Walker, his third. DeJulius will go to the line to shoot 2. And he misses the first. He entered the game 1 of 2 from the free throw line in the season. Now 1 for 3, attempting his second. And missed them both. Tough go at the line there for DeJulius, who is really marketed as a shooter out of high school. Certainly a guy comfortable with the ball in his hands. Guarding Walker, who passes it across to number 15, Abe Kinraid, who's now into the game. Inside, that one out of bounds off Michigan. And now checking in for Isaiah Livers, is Colin Castleton.
Beeline really emptying the bench here to finish the game out. 4 freshmen on the floor.
Freshman from Daytona Beach, Florida. Open 3 from the corner by Joyce, and that one rattles around, decides to go.
Just their second made three-pointer of the game.
DeJulius dribbles it up. It's a 68-48 game. He passes it to Brooks. Thought about taking a 3, but with 20 on the shot clock, he can wait all the way down to 1:20 remaining. They find Nunez in the corner, off the mark, but banging around for the rebound was Castleton. Manages to force it off Air Force and reset the shot clock. 1:35 remaining in the game. In the fresh 30 on the clock, we got 2 more substitutions coming in for Air Force. 21, Nick Renee, and 20, Isaac Munson. Both teams digging into their bench here in the final minutes of a Michigan blowout. Castleton corrals the inbounds pass. Brooks going to dribble inside, pull-up jumper, that one off the heel. Battled around, Johns went hard down to the floor. The Falcons are the ones to grab it down. Munson, a long three-point attempt there from Air Force. Rebound by Johns, and he dribbles it off Air Force's foot and out of bounds. So the ball will stay with Michigan, 1:11 to go in the game.
A huge game for Eli Brooks today. After last 4 games, after beginning the season with usually over 15 minutes a game, last 4 he's gone 12, 15, 6, and 9. Today he's at 25 minutes. He's played solid. He's drove at the basket well, shot well. Nunez with a 3.
That one
misses.
off the mark. Castleton, the rebound, puts it up, count it, and a foul.
Colin Castleton.
Castleton now with the and one, put Michigan up 70-48. He'll get the free throw upcoming. Castleton marked at 6'11", 210, and the 210 may be generous, very slender. Michigan trying to bulk him up before he sees real action. Standing at the line, and he gets that free throw to go.
Nice three-point play there from the freshman.
So under a minute remaining, Michigan leads by 23, 71-48 over the Air Force Falcons. Munson with the ball. So they pass it around, waiting to get something set up. Now it's Abe Kinraid, guarded by Nunez. Gets the good first step inside, puts it up off the glass, and it goes. So Air Force is going to be able to hit the 50-point plateau. They have exactly 50, 71-50. Wolverines can basically end the game. 23 on the game clock, 22 on the shot clock. But an open 3 for C.J. Baird off the mark, but grabbing down the rebound, Adrian Nunez, and that should just about do it. 15 seconds, shot clock turned off, the crowd on their feet. DeJulius dribbles it just past the big block M, and the sellout crowd at Crisler Center counts down the final seconds. There's the horn. Our final score, Michigan 71, Air Force 50. A stellar showing for the Wolverines.
Yeah, it was, you know, out of the gates, slow out of the gates in the first half. Only went to half with a 7-point lead. Ended with a 21-point win. You love to see it. Stepped up the intensity in the second half. Made more shots. Were better with the ball. Turned it over less. Didn't let Air Force bully them on the boards. Turns out to a 20-plus point victory.
Final score 71-50 in favor of the Wolverines. Bristakis leads the Michigan with 19, Matthews 17, Poole and Livers both with 11. Air Force led by 16 points from Laval Scotty, also 9 from Ryan Swan. Both teams shooting 47% from the field. Michigan 10 of 32 from three-point range, 71% from the line. With that, Max Cohen, Nick Hornberg, I'm Alex Drain. Good night, and go blue.